What started as a safety program for car auction services will soon be shared with the entire auto auction industry. NAAA's President Ellie Johnson focused her year on safety and was successful in securing funds in order to share the Car Auction Services Safety SAM program with all of us. To introduce the program to us this morning is Car Auction Services Executive Vice President David Vines. David was born and raised in France and currently oversees the safety program for CAR's 15,000 employees. His past experiences include working for the French police, where he earned the rank of lieutenant. He spent 15 years developing and supporting safety initiatives for Walt Disney Corporation and Walt Disney Cruise Lines. David resides in Carmel, Indiana with his wife, Donna. Please welcome Car Auction Services Executive Vice President, David Vines.
Frank, thank you for this very nice introduction. As you can see with my accent, I'm not born in Texas, but overseas. And when Frank told to me about the safety program, I thought that it would be interesting and I would be very pleased to share some of the work that we have done at ADESA and Car Auction Services. And by any means, what we are doing is just the beginning of a program. When you talk about safety, you always think about long-term initiatives. So the first thing that we wanted to do was to really show you some of the initiatives that we put in place. So you heard about Safety SAM. I tried to take Mickey Mouse with me when I left Walt Disney World, and they didn't authorize me to do that, so I created a little mascot. But what I want to show you is some videos of what's happened in our work environment. So you saw some of this video, and I heard some of the people feeling a little bit uncomfortable. What I show you there is some of the minor accidents that we have.
12-8, 8 on, Dominican on, Dominican hand, Dominican on, Dominican 12-8, 12-8, 8, oh shit. Bullet Explorer ahead.
So between the two cars, you have a body of a dealer right there. So, you know, it's very interesting that I'm an outsider. I come from the entertainment company, Walt Disney World. And I remember the first time I came and saw an auction. I freaked out because I saw all these cars moving nonstop, people walking back and forth. And I was like, these people are crazy. 5 years later, I'm probably doing the same thing. I'm walking around the cars, and it's not a big deal. But when you really think about it, we work in a very, very dangerous environment. And when Jim asked me to re-look at the safety program for cars and ADESA, we started to set up some safety goals. And the idea here was pretty simple. Let's be sure that we do something with sustainable. We want to be sure that safety is part of the day-to-day life of our employees. And we wanted to be sure that the same way all our people, all you people, think about how do I get one more car in the barn? How do we automatically think about safety when we start our days? So very often in the company, the way we explain that to our employees is to say, you know, if you feel very comfortable as a dad, as a mom, to bring your kids in your workplace and you feel safe, the day where the 15,000 employees of car auction services will think like that, probably will have achieved something pretty good. So when you start to talk about long-term initiative, you think about strategy. And the strategy that we started to implement at Car Auction Services was to start from the top. I remember sitting down with Jim Allett, our CEO, and say, Jim, what do you want to achieve? And Jim said, what I want is to be sure that everybody, every night, go back home safe. It's very simple. So we started to talk to the top of the hierarchy, and we went down and talking with everybody. One thing that Jim did one day, he came to see me and said, David, I want to talk directly to all the employees of the company. And he did this little video of 2 minutes that I want to share with you.
Hello, everyone. I want to take a few moments today to speak to you about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and something that doesn't get nearly enough attention, and that is safety. Safety is one of the company's core values and has been since the company was first founded. This is not a video that I'm doing out of obligation or because someone at the corporate level suggested that I record this. It is something that is very personal to me and something that I have experienced firsthand. Back when I was an independent auction owner, a very serious accident happened in my lanes where several dealers were injured by a runaway vehicle. Seeing this shook me to my core. And for those of you who have ever experienced this, you will know exactly how I felt. It is a feeling that never, ever goes away. Let's face it, we work in a very dangerous industry with lots of moving pieces and parts. And it's time we shed a serious light on the safety of our employees and our customers. I have therefore asked my direct report, David Bean, to serve as the executive sponsor of our safety program. He has created a dedicated team comprised of employees from both ADESA and Insurance Auto Auctions. They have spent a significant amount of time identifying the most frequent types of accidents that occur at our whole car and salvage auction facilities and evaluating their causes. They will review every level of safety, from some of the most common things such as slips and falls, to wearing your safety goggles and your vest, to major accidents that lead to fatalities. David and his team are developing a safety training program that will involve every single employee in the company, starting with the receptionist. our goal is to build a comprehensive training program for all new hires. Simply put, no employee will start work at one of our facilities without the proper safety training. We understand that different jobs will require different levels of safety training, so modules that address these specific needs will be available by year's end. Current employees will also have the opportunity to undergo ongoing training on a regular basis. I want to make certain that you understand that safety is everyone's responsibility, regardless of your job, your title, or your role within the company. Please know that it is your right as an employee to never put yourself in an unsafe position. You have my permission to never attempt to do anything that is unsafe. And when you identify something that's unsafe, it is your responsibility as an employee to alert your supervisor every time you see unsafe working conditions. If we all take the proper safety measures and adhere to them daily, unnecessary injuries will occur with our employees and our customers that can be prevented. After all, employees and customers are essential to the success of our business. You often hear me talk about things like performance, revenue, strategy, and growth. But as a company, two of our most valuable assets are our employees and our customers. Safety makes good sense, and it makes good business sense. So I urge you to join me in committing to making our company a safe workplace. Please talk about safety with your team and share this with your coworker. As I said, the safety and the well-being of our employees and our customers are very, very important to me on a personal level. Thank you for your time today, and stay tuned for regular safety updates as we go forward.
So you heard the message from Jim, and I think that the way we look at it was to say, let's review everything that we have done in the company in the past. And when we have done this review, we hired two different consultants to help us looking at what we are doing well and what have room for improvement. When you think about a safety program, we implemented hundreds of initiatives. But for today, I want just to share with you 6 of these initiatives we can be probably implemented by any auctions pretty fast. The first thing I tell you, I come from Walt Disney World where they train you, and train you again. And when you think that you are trained, they start again. So I took exactly the same process. The first thing that we did was to put in place a training program. And the way we divide this training program was really in 4 different buckets. In the green bubble, the first thing that we did was, what are the trainings that you give to the 15,000 employees of the company? And that's what we call, and perhaps you heard, the Safety SAM Awareness Program. Every month at Car Auction Services, on the first week of the month, every employee receives an email with a safety video from Safety SAM. This video the purpose of this video is just safety awareness. And I will show you in a few minutes a very short copy of the video. But the idea here is just to have safety on top of your mind every month. We started in 2012, and this program will never stop. Every month, all our employees get this email, and they have to check it out and watch the safety video. In the yellow bucket, you have all the safety with mandatory. And very simply, if you are a truck driver for a transportation department, you need certain certifications. If you are a painter, you need to do some training in terms of, how do you clean the filter on your mask, how do you use your mask before you paint, etc. The yellow bubble is technically one decision that we made to say every management, we have operational responsibilities, need to be certified by OSHA. That's what they call the OSHA 10 hours. I can tell you that it will probably take 15 hours for an employee to go through this training. 10 hours of trainings, plus the test we go behind it, and OSHA gives you the certification when you passed the test. For all those other managers, we didn't have an operational responsibility. We decided to take the 10-hour OSHA training, took out some of the trainings that we judged was not needed, and we asked them to do the same training program. When you think about this training, it's all about education. How do I educate my people to be sure that they know what to do when the risk happens, or before a risk happens? This training structure that I explained here is really very important, because what we do every training session goes through the LMS, the Learning Management System. This system allowed us to track who takes the training, who don't take the training, and if you're a manager at ADESA today, by the 25th of the month, you can go to the LMS and look at who in your team need to do the training before the 30th of the month, because every training has some due dates. Just to give you an idea, as of today, the compliance percentage in the company overall out of the 15,000 employees is over 98%. And I think you can explain that because everybody understands that being safe is important. You want to be safe, I want to be safe, I want to come back home healthy. I told you about Safety SAM, very basic awareness program. It can touch, PPE, personal protective equipment, safety basic, heat stress. What we do with this awareness video, we slide them based on the schedule of the years. As you can imagine, slip and fall happen mostly in the winter, ice, snow. So we'll have the training in September, right before the winter. Same thing for heat stress. We do that in May, because during the summer, that's where the risk happen. So I want to show you for 1 minute how does a Safety SAM video looks like.
Hello, Safety Sam here, your car safety expert. Let's talk about heat stress. Click the play button to begin the training. Did you know that the risk of heat stress from high temperatures is a serious challenge to your health and safety at work? Like a car that shuts down when it overheats, your body will do the same thing. Heat stress can affect you before you even realize it, so it's important to be prepared in case it happens to you or a coworker on the job. Heat stress can include a variety of illnesses, ranging from mild to severe and even life-threatening. Identifying the differences between each type of heat stress illness and recognizing the symptoms will help you determine how to respond if you or someone else is overheating. Starting with the milder forms, let's take a look at each type of heat stress illness and its symptoms.
Very easy to understand, but very specific on the point. The next initiative that I want to talk to you about, it's about PPE, or personal protective equipment. When you have the people at the auction, they need to have certain resources to be sure that they work safely. What we have done is, number one, to be able to officialize the list of all the safety equipment. And we ask our procurement department to be sure that for the auction, all this equipment are easily accessible. Our people doesn't need to look for the price, negotiate. They just need to know what are the quantities that they need, and they can order it directly. When you talk about PPE, the first thing you think about it is safety vest. So here again, we put in place something very, very simple. If you are outside the office at the auction, you are in the line, you are in the lot, you are in the shops, you need to wear a safety vest. No exception. You go from the general manager to the employees that we just hired. And the second thing that we did to keep it very simple is to say, if you are an ADESA employee, you have to wear a yellow vest. If you are not an ADESA employee, you have to wear an orange vest. And when we did that, it was for safety purposes. But we had a second indirect consequences was very beneficial for the auction. Our dealers now know who is an employee in the company. And if they need some information on where does a Ford sells, on which lane, they know right away to the yellow vest. Today, we have this vest, it was a little bit challenging when we started to do that, but I will tell you that after a month, it was totally accepted by all the auctions. We talk about our own employees. We talk about what we can do for them, but don't forget, a big piece of our business is to deal with the dealers. How do we communicate to the dealer? So what we did, we took a couple of dealers with us, did some focus group, and we asked them, what do you think the dealer need to know from a safety standpoint when he comes to an auction? And what they did, they came back with these 6 points. We took these 6 points, pay attention to your surrounding, obey all posted speed limits and warning, etc. And we started to post this information everywhere at the auctions. If you go to the ADESA auction today, when you arrive to the gate, you probably will see a big banners with these 6 points. If you are in the administration area of the ADESA auction and go to the lane, on the door or somewhere on the wall, you will see the same sign. And on top of that, what we did with the point number 2 on this slide is that we went back and make a modification on the kiosk for the bid badge. Every 90 days, every dealers we deal with ADESA, when they want to print their bid badge, they have an extra screen. We show them the 6 bullet points that I just told you about it and say, please, electronically sign to be sure that you acknowledge of this safety regulation. Safety bulletin. So what we do, some of my employees track every accident happening in the organization. And sometimes they come to see me and say, hey, David, in the last 90 days, I started to see this type of accident with slip and fall, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I started to see that our people are getting injured because they are getting cut with sharp objects. When we start to see a trend, we started to put in place what we call the safety bulletin. This safety bulletin is 1 page where we explain what are the facts, what type of accident, how did it happen, what are the risks, and after what we call the call to action, technically, how do you protect yourself? Very, very interesting. Every time we have put a bulletin, safety bulletin out, in the next 60 days, we saw a drastic reduction in this type of accidents. And for this bulletin, we don't have a plan. We don't produce that every month or every 60 days based on the trend. So I can go 6 months with no bulletin. And in 60 days, I can have 3 on the row. And this 1 page needs to be posted at the auction in the high visibility area where all our employees walk by. So most of the time, you will see this bulletin next to the clocking, clock out, where the people clock, or it will be in the break room. Very simple, extremely effective. This one was a bigger endeavor. We started to look at the type of accidents that we have at auctions. And if you remember a few minutes ago, the video where you see one dealer being crushed between 2 cars, and that was an extremely bad accident. We started to look at all these accidents happening on the lane, and what you realize is that most of the time, the bad one is when 2 vehicles get involved and someone is in the middle. At ADESA, for example, traditionally, the way we ask our driver to measure the distance between 2 cars when they drive is to say, when you sit, if you can see in front of you the tires of the vehicle with there, you have a safe distance. So what we did, the first thing we did is that today we physically mark on the floor where the car needs to stop. A very simple idea, right? When you take your car tomorrow to go back home, if there is a stop sign, what do? You just stop on the white lane. So we did the same principle. The second thing that we did is on each side of this lane, we put this 5-foot steel bollard going down 4 foot in the floor. This post can stop a car driving at 25 miles an hour. And we did that for two reasons. One, to protect the dealer if the car runs away, but also for the driver when he drives, he knows that he has the sign on the floor and he can see at this high level the post and you know where to stop. So when you look at this design here, you see the first line and you see the 20 feet we are technically one cars. After we added another 20 feet between the back of the first cars and the front of the second car. And statistically, and I'm touching wood here, you still can have an accident, but you can imagine that a chance for a dealer or an employee to be crushed between two cars when there is so much distance, the risk is lower. Today at ADESA, we already have retrofit 20 of our auctions. We're in the process by the end of this year to have 50% of the ADESA auction put on the new design, and we'll continue to do that next year. We had a lot of thought on this design. We involve our insurance company, we involve our safety consultant, but we believe that it will be very positive down the road. The next step on this design is to look outside the building on the right where you see the arrow and figure it out what are the modifications that you need to do in the design also to avoid this kind of accident, because the two risks are really in the line and at the entrance of the auction lane. By marking the line on the floor, we are 100% certain now that the driver stopped right there, and that allowed our video camera to have the right picture, the perfect picture for the online sale. So sometimes you go through the safety first and put something in place, and you have a second consequences which is positive for the business. The last initiative I want to talk to you about it's a classic one. Nothing new here. If you go in any OEM manufacturer, and the first thing that they will do to you is to give you glasses, safety vest, a hat, and I can guarantee that when you walk a minute in the facilities, what do you see? You see a big sign. We told you how many days these facilities had no accident. So what we did exactly the same thing. The only thing, we put our safety SAM on the scoreboard, but technically you have an electronic clock. This clock is managed by my department, and every day we pass by, the clock goes by 1 day. One other thing we did also is to put an award program on this safety SAM scoreboard. Every auction at ADESA, we achieve 500 days without an accident. We have a program. First thing that we do is that our safety SAM show up and do a tour of the facility, take pictures, and safety SAM is becoming really popular in our organization. I was joking with some of my friends the other day saying that I'm not so sure that everybody know who Jim Allett is as our CEO, but I can guarantee that 100% of our employees know who is Safety SAM. So after 500 days, Safety SAM show up. People want selfie, take pictures, or Safety SAM, have a Twitter account, a Facebook page, etc. But it's very interesting to see the reaction of the employee. They are really happy. Safety SAM also offer lunch for all the employees of the auction. Doesn't matter if we are in Fargo with 60 employees or if we are in Boston with 600 employees. We also give them a nice certificate signed by Safety SAM. And the other thing that we do is that we have this little bobblehead, Safety SAM bobblehead. And you know what? It's really amazing. When I did that, I just made 100, and they each have a number. Everybody wants that. That's the highest prize in the company. You get a Safety SAM bobblehead. And when you achieve 500 days, we give one of these bobbleheads to the general manager or the safety coordinator. Here is our friend Kurt in ADESA Tampa, over 1,000. And I can tell you one thing. An auction, we can achieve this kind of safety record is not only the general manager doing the right thing, it's everybody doing the right thing. And great achievement. So to give you an idea today, around 17% of the auction at ADESA are over 500 days without an accident. Safety Sam brand, I told you, I tried to keep Mickey Mouse with me when I left. They didn't like that, not at all. They were ready to sue me. So I created my little mascot, Safety Sam. We went to the ADESA training department and we started to brainstorm, and they came up with our Safety Sam mascot. Very simple. People love it. You know, it's very funny to see how people adopt and appreciate to have a mascot in the company. Communication is very simple. I really try to keep it simple and straight to the point. And Safety Sam, it's a celebrity in our organization. So that's the official Safety Sam look, design, copyright by the organization. Safety Sam. When we had the mascot, I went back to the 14,000 employees of the company and say, how do we want to call this little guy? And they came back and they say, Safety Sam. And that was the official name. Safety Sam is everywhere in the company. I can tell you, he's checking the board, number of days without accident at the head office, so stopping by the reception. Sometimes, as I told you, if you achieve 500 days without an accident, Safety Sam will go to the auction, and we have the recognition program. Safety Sam sometimes go to the field. On the left, he's checking out with one of our inspectors. On the right, he's looking at the van from our locksmith company. And when he's in the office, you know what? Everybody likes to hug Safety Sam. So we are very happy with that. So what I want to do here is to let you know what are the evolution of our program. When we started in 2012, what we are trying was just to catch up. Let's be sure that we give all our employees the right resources and be sure that every employee understands the expectation. What we have been doing starting this year is going from a very reactive strategy, as you can see, to something which is way more proactive. We believe today in our own organization that every employee of the company know what they have to do. They have the right tools, they have the right resources, we communicate. What we want to do today is to try to be more proactive. How can I start to stop an accident before it happens? And we believe that probably the best initiative that we have today is upon number 4. By the end of this year, for all the employees of the company, for each job description, we'll be talking to the employee and say, hey, David, if you work in the detail shop, what are the risks? What are the safety risks? And probably the employee will tell you, slip and fall, there is water everywhere, I'm dealing with chemical, and when I detrash the car, I can get a sharp object or needle, we can cut me. So we go back and tell the employee, for the slip and fall, what do you need to do to be sure that you avoid this risk? Well, probably I need to wear the right boots. Perhaps at the end of the day, I need to clean the floor to be sure that it's not wet in the morning when I come back. When I go to change the chemical for the cleaning product, do I wear my safety glasses? Do I wear my gloves? And I was not specialized in gloves, but you have 20 different types of gloves that we have in the company, for chemical, for cleaning product, just if you touch glasses, etc. So what we do, we go back and say, hey, do you know for the risk, what are the things that you should do? For the detrash, do you have the specific gloves that we want you to wear? We believe that by doing that, we will continue to make progress in keeping our employees safe. This board is something we just put together last week, and I was really surprised because even if I deal with safety almost every day, I didn't realize how much progress we made in the company. That's the reduction in the number of accidents at the car auction services. And so it's technically almost 40% since 2012. Now, you know, I'm always very careful with this number, because you can argue that from 2012 to 2014, we just went after the low-hanging fruits. And as you know, better you get, more difficult it is to continue to make progress. But we are, as you probably understand, we are really focused on safety. We really want to try to be sure that we do the right thing. One of the things that we have done is that when Frank asked me, I told him, I say, whatever you need from a safety program, we'll give you all the resources and all the knowledge that we have. So NAAA decided to adopt the Safety Sam mascot. You saw the little guys in the coffee break. The second thing that they did, they want to adopt, you know, the very simple safety vest guidelines that we put in place. You are an employee and you are outside the administration office, you wear a yellow vest. Everybody else will wear an orange vest. The third thing that we are doing is that you saw a glimpse of the Safety Sam video, the safety awareness video. We will provide all this video to NAAA, and Frank will be able to share that with all these members. And the last thing that we are doing is doing an update of the Safety in the Lane video, with technically, I would say, one of the key videos for all the employees who work in the lane. And right now we are working with Safety Sam to get an update on this video. Will be available in the Q1 2016. So I just wanted to give you a very quick overview of what we are doing. By no means is perfect, and I'm always careful that I'm talking to you today and tomorrow morning something bad will happen at the auction. I'm almost becoming superstitious. But I wanted to thank you very much for listening to me today. I want to thanks Ellie for the great cooperation that we have together. And I really appreciate what you are doing. So if Frank and Ellie want to come with me, and if Safety Sam want to join us. Here is Safety Sam. So I think we have a few more minutes. If you have any question on the program, Frank or Ellie or myself will be happy to answer, knowing that Safety Sam cannot talk, right? So. Good? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, since there's no questions, I want to thank David, Safety Sam, and the entire group from Car Auction Services. We're excited about what lies ahead and hopeful that we can make our auctions a safer place for our employees and customers. How about a big round of applause for Safety Sam and David Brown?